Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or ghost out. We live in the upside down. Things don't make sense and they're done pretending that they do. If you remember my video from last week where the Fed cut rates by 0.25%, well, a lot has changed and been said since then. While some members were apprehensive about cutting the rates, there were more members that came out this week in favor of even bigger cuts. People on my last video commented that I don't understand how economics works and them cutting the rates is actually an amazing thing. And to those people, I just want to say, I want to focus on the economy for everybody, not just the few people who are able to own stocks. And also, stocks do not equal economy. While good economies can make good stock markets don't always mean the economy is healthy. It is already widely known that we are living through one of the biggest tech bubbles ever, and the effects that it will have if AI doesn't live up to the glory that's being promised will be devastating through the market. And don't just take my word for it. In a recent meeting with the Fed, Jerome Powell even said that the value of these stocks is fairly high. And that's not taking into account these companies are not worth what they're valued at. Everything is truly speculative. And if Tesla has taught us one thing, they don't always meet their target goals. Just like how the Fed has not met its target goal of 2% inflation. Instead, inflation has been rising month after month because of tariffs. With the legality of these tariffs still in question, we're not seeing much results. We're only seeing effects. One of them being that our farmers can't afford to maintain their farms, but that's okay because the government says they will split tariff revenue with the farmers. I don't know. I have an idea. How about get rid of the tariff on the farmers? All the markets that farmers are hurting in are purely because we put a 10 to 30% tax on that product. Let's take soybeans or chicken feet for example. Americans don't really eat that stuff. We sell that stuff to China at a profit, but because of tariffs, China has refused to take these products, causing a destruction in our farm sector. And I don't know about you, but I don't trust my government to pay the farmers when they've never paid the people correctly ever. The only time they did a bailout correctly was in 2008, and that's because they bailed out their friends. What I think will happen to the farmers is that they will lose their farms, have to sell it to companies like Acre Trade, which our Vice President JD Vance is invested in, and the companies that buy the farms from American citizens will get the bailouts that the government is promising. If you think that I'm just saying a crazy conspiracy, you have to think about how these timelines work. The tariff revenue probably won't be analyzed for a few more months, and the farmers in need are asking for help today. It's already been months of delayed harvest and food not selling, so for them to hold on an extra 3 to 6 months is truly unfathomable for their situation. So just like in other times of economic distress, the American citizen will be the one brooding the bill, but it's okay. All the soy and the stuff that our farmers are gathering that we don't want will be sold to us indirectly. The quality of the products we will use will get worse, the flavors will change, and things just won't be the same. The American diet will change substantially because of the tariffs. As you've seen, processed foods are back on the rise because times are so hard. Families are turning to Hamburger Helper because the cost of beef is just way too high. And what do processed foods utilize a lot? Soy and fake ingredients. They will turn you into a soy jack to fix a problem they created. But it's okay because they'll sell you the cure. We're facing a lot of crises, especially since the turn of the decade, and instead of fixing them, actually fixing them, not spending as much money, printing less, trying to curve off inflation, our government has turned to devaluing the dollar. These cuts that the Fed is doing come in the middle of a shaky economy. Any step they take is wobbly, and they even know this, but if they don't address the actual issues plaguing our economy, then everything they do will just be a band-aid. People said I didn't understand credit cycle or why I thought this was really bad for Gen Z in particular, but everything I say has been consistent on this channel. You can go back to the first video I made about the economy. As inflation ticks up, the cost of living also ticks up. Your everyday coffee, groceries, and food that you might want to eat comes at a higher cost to you, making it so if you already didn't have money to save prior to inflation, then you for sure will be drowning when inflation rises. And that's what a lot of families are facing. We're almost at half a decade of inflation and no real end in sight. And the reason it hurts Gen Z the most is because we're the ones trying to build the savings. We don't have it right now. Most of us are in debt and live on lives that we can't really afford. And even the ones that are saving money and trying to budget are still faced at a future that is less than their parents. So while the stock market does great and continues to do great, that is not a reflection of the average American. And even if you think it is, that bubble will burst and then cause the average American to suffer even more. The people playing with interest cuts and playing with your money in general can afford for milk to be $10. $15. They can eat the cost of steak rising to $15 per pound, and the price of gas doesn't matter because they fly private jets. So while you think interest rate cuts help you, they hurt your dollar, make your currency weaker, and allow the Fed to print money when there's too much in circulation already. But America has left the common sense stage of its economic plan, and now we just listen to the people who have the most money/power. If you don't believe me, Elon Musk is even saying that we should keep printing money infinitely. You know it's a problem when an autistic billionaire can sway the minds of millions, even though he's working in opposition to their interests. The same people supporting Elon Musk and the president currently would benefit from a stronger dollar. I know the farmers that voted for Trump would probably benefit from a stronger dollar as well. But instead, we're caught up in cultural wars and not really looking at a plan to help fix anything. By the time we realize that these are all things that don't matter, it'll be too late, and there is no going back once you open Pandora's box. Since the late 1970s, America has been on a downhill trajectory economically, and instead of trying to fix it, they just narrow the amount of years you look at. People like to reference 2008 and how that was a terrible recession, but honestly, the 1990s and the early 2000s were plagued by terrible economic times, and the 2008 recession was just a culmination of bad policy. Again, I don't think I'm telling you anything new. I purely make these videos to pull the veil behind bad information so you can prepare for the actual future ahead. While it seems impossible for Gen Z to get ahead, there are ways to get ahead. You can invest in gold, you can look into crypto, and you can literally follow Nancy Pelosi's stock investments, and she's never wrong. But if you go off the information the Fed, the president, or anyone in our system actually tells you, you'll still be operating in a false reality, unprepared for a major crash that's about to happen. Everything I'm saying, you can choose to believe it or not, but all the indicators of a fake economy are all around you. It's up to you to wake up, be proactive, and not reactive. If you agree or disagree with my assessment of the economy, let me know down below in the comments. Am I just being over-doomer about everything, or is there actual cause for concern? Let me know. If you like this video, please go ahead and drop a like on the video, and the subscription does more for me than you could ever know. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Transmission complete. Signal terminating. This is ghostthread, signing off.